Good evening, brothers and sisters. While I was recording the Schizophrenic update, I thought of something, and after I finished the video, I was like, dang it, I wanted to talk about this. So I'm making a second video. Brothers and sisters, I wanted to talk about something that sounds simple, but it really isn't as simple as people say or think, or it's not even as simple as people talk about. I hear all the time brothers and sisters on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, they go online and they say, oh, I have trouble with anxiety. I have trouble with depression. I have trouble with this disorder or that disorder or these symptoms. And I want you to understand that anxiety and depression, for example, even though everyone knows what I'm talking about when I use those terms, not everyone has an anxiety disorder, nor does everyone have a depression disorder. Just speaking on anxiety and depression, if you have a disorder related to one of those symptoms, I guess I would say, it is incredibly difficult and uncomfortable, and it's hard to cope. For me, I look at it, there's a difference between someone who worries versus someone who actually struggles with an anxiety disorder to the point to where if they go grocery shopping or if they go to a cafe to eat or a restaurant to eat, there's a difference between someone just saying, you know what, I'm anxious, I don't know how these people will think if I tell them the truth. I don't know how these people will think about me, if they'll like me. There's a difference between just casual anxiety that a lot of people have versus actually having a disorder that is related to anxiety, which is more severe, 10 times worse than just, oh, I wonder if these people will like me or not. Having an anxiety disorder requires medication, requires therapy, requires a lot of work. In the same way, depression. I hear brothers and sisters all the time on social media saying, oh, I'm depressed. When really they're not depressed. Maybe they miss someone, or someone just passed away and they're like, you know what, I'm grieving. Okay, cool, you're grieving, I get it. Maybe someone will say, well, I just don't want to get out of bed this morning. I'm depressed. And it's like, you need to understand what depression is and actually how it manifests itself in someone's day-to-day. Depression is different than just feeling bad once in a while or not feeling happy once in a while. They're two totally different things. People who have a depression disorder, again, just like an anxiety disorder, usually require medication, which helps and actually not fixes, but helps solve some of the chemical imbalance in the brain. And so people who struggle with the actual depression require, again, medication and probably therapy. And so what I'm talking about is, I'm tired of hearing brothers and sisters complain and say, I have this, or I have that, or this disorder, or that disorder. And it's like, stop self-diagnosing. You don't have anxiety, you don't have depression, you don't have bipolar disorder, you don't have schizophrenia. Rather, you're just an asshole. Rather, you're seeking attention. Rather, you just are trying to be in the spotlight, and you think if you make something up, people will care, people will watch your videos, people will comment, people will, say something. No, open up the DSM manual and actually read about these clinical terms and what actually they mean. I don't like it when brothers and sisters pretend they have certain disorders when they don't, and they're just trying to get attention. It bothers me so much. I see that on TikTok quite a lot of people For example, the schizophrenic community, whatever you want to say, there's a lot of people on TikTok that I've seen where in their video, they'll say, oh, I had schizophrenia, but I don't have it anymore. Well, that means you never had it. I'm going to be honest with you. You never had schizophrenia. I agree with you that demonic oppression is real and that demons are real, and, things can get dark and chaotic and the devil can play games. But if you claim you had schizophrenia and now you don't, that means you never had it to begin with. That means you were playing games, you self-diagnosed, and you actually don't know what the hell is going on. You're just making something up. If you have schizophrenia, actual schizophrenia diagnosis, that means it's probably genetic. It runs in your family. There is some kind of trauma or a very traumatic experience has happened in your life, which kind of activated the schizophrenia and activated it within your DNA, your genetics. And then there's environmental reasons why someone can have schizophrenia. But for someone to say, oh, I don't have it anymore, 100%, I'm so confident to say you never had it to begin with. You were just playing games. People play games when it comes to mental health too much. They try to get sympathy. They try to get people to care. And so they're willing to lie about just the fact that they're probably an asshole. Probably not many people like them because they use people and they're toxic and they're seeking attention. It's like, be honest with yourself that you can be worried without having anxiety. You can be sad without having depression. Just stop self-diagnosing. Stop trying to put labels on yourself so you can say, look at me, I have this, so you gotta feel bad for me. Like, no, I don't feel bad for you, because especially when it comes to schizophrenia, I don't feel bad for those people, because the individuals who claim I had it once, now I don't have it, oftentimes they're super religious people who are like, I was healed by God. And for me, I always think about if someone like a pastor or preacher or someone who does deliverance ministry, if they truly can heal people like that, for me, what comes to my mind always is, then why aren't you on the news? Why don't you go to hospitals and heal people en masse there if you can heal people? Why aren't you on the news, and why doesn't your local TV station not know about you? Why aren't they at your house interviewing you? Like, if you claim to be able to heal people, it's like, why do you do it in these secret meetings with people where there's not a lot of eyewitnesses, unless you're like a mega ministry and a mega evangelical person, and you have your worship Sundays recorded on YouTube and all that so people see. But a lot of the deliverance ministry, I don't doubt the healing, because I know healing can happen. But what I doubt is that person, the minister, the preacher. Because if you truly could heal people, you would be at the hospitals, you would be at the homeless shelters, you would be in the alleyways where you would be in the alleyways where the drug addicts are underneath the bridge sleeping for the night. You would be in the trap houses. See, you would be at AA meetings. But you're not at any of those places. Rather, you have these one-on-one private appointments and no one actually sees what you're doing. But I'm getting off topic. I am very sorry. I get off topic easily, just because my mind goes everywhere all at once. But I just wanted to talk about this, that people need to stop using labels and stop using mental health and disorders as a way to get sympathy. Just stop. Because I see through that. I see through that so much. A couple years back, I forgot what their name was, but they they have Tourette's, and they got pretty big and a big following, and some people were doubting whether they have Tourette's if they're faking it. And I was like, people who have a mental illness, people who have a disorder like me, we can spot the reals and the fakes so quick because we know what happens on a daily basis. We know how they should be acting, how they should be speaking, how they should be talking, how they're thinking probably, what they're having problems with in the real world, like voices, whether you're distracted, whether you can have a conversation that makes sense. We know what's real and what's not, so we're able to really pinpoint, you're faking it and you're for real, you have it. You have something, you have the tism. And it's like, it just bothers me so much when people try to use mental health as a way to get sympathy, get followers, to get attention. Just like, stop. But sorry, this is me just going on a rant again. So I will be done with this rant. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a little manic right now too. So that doesn't help me right now. I feel like I'm manic. Like I have so much going on in my head right now. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm going to stop talking now. So thank you guys for listening. God bless.